Well, welcome back to the Piney Woods homestead, y'all. Today we are on the hunt for fat wood. As soon as I get all these logs decked up that I brought in yesterday, y'all, and I'm not going to show you all the moving the logs, I'll spare you on that since I've done it a few times, but I got to get all these moved, decked up for the wood yard, for firewood, and then we're going to go out into the woods and hunt some fat wood, some lighter wood. Guys, thanks for stopping in at the Piney Woods homestead. Hit that like and subscribe if you hadn't. And if you have, as always, y'all, we appreciate you. Y'all, I couldn't resist showing off some of that. Brought in quite a bit of wood yesterday. I hauled a lot that had been cleared. I didn't really want to put no wood back on this side of wood yard number one, but the way I got it kind of at an angle, I can still get my trailers back in here and tractor in and out and stuff like that. But got a good stack of wood in here, y'all. I believe at this point between wood yard number 2 that we're building and number 1, that we should have twice as much firewood to sell next year. That is, if we can get it all split this winter, and we will. All right, we're going to be on the hunt, y'all, for some fat wood. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's basically the resin in the yellow pines down south here that settle into the heart of the wood whenever it dies, trees cut down, got to blow over, something like that. It burns really good, so it's for starting fires. So we're going to take a truck out through the woods and see if we can find something that might be a good candidate to pull out of there. It's Matthew here at the Piney Woods homestead, guys. If you have tried our Piney Woodsman beard balm, you're going to be thrilled over this. We've come up with a new flavor, as we call them around here, guys. Deer stand, that's what it's called. It's going to remind you of deer hunting in the fall. The smell of fresh leaves falling, the smell of fresh dirt being turned over, the smell of that crisp morning air as you're climbing up into the deer stand, freezing your tail off. Guys, you're going to love Deer Stand from Piney Woodsman. Now this stump right here is from a standing dead that snapped off a few years ago. And it's loose in the ground. I mean, you can push it around. I know push it over, there may be something in the roots still, but y'all, it may just be completely gone. I have found that the standing dead stuff gets a little harder to find, that sapwood, especially if it has been out here for so long. But most of the time, if a tree has set up right, y'all, it can last for years out here in the elements. But I kind of got an idea of where to look for some, but we're gonna knock this stump over and just see if there's anything in there. I can push it pretty easy. Let's see here. Rotten, completely rotten. That doesn't mean that there's not some down in the roots or where the roots were, but we're not gonna mess with that. Let's move on. All right, here's a smaller pine. It looks like it just fell over maybe within the last year. And if you knock on it, there's still some hard wood in there. That's your heart. We might be able to get a little bit of this out. It depends on how much I want to mess with it, because I kind of thinking of another place that we can get some fat wood really easy. I don't know how good the camera's picking this up, but this center of this heart here is pretty red. And one thing that I can smell, strong scents, y'all, like smells like pine tar, or turpentine. And that's what we're looking for. We had about 4 inches of rain, so everything out here in the woods is pretty damp, but I can take this heart off of this little stump, and I'll probably come out here in the woods with the excavator and dig this one up, because there'll be some good heart down there in that stump, because it's fully intact down there, you can tell. And the fat wood's going to get better on down closer to those roots. Y'all, this fat wood is something that I grew up knowing what it was, because you know, we live in the country in the South, and we've used it off and on to start fires with, but a lot of people don't know what it is. And some things, y'all, even if you are from the South, you may not know what it is. Some things will be lost to time, kind of like all the homesteading that Lisa and I do. It is lost to a lot of people our age and younger, because they never experienced it growing up, and they may never experience it. So hopefully we can educate a few folks as time goes on how we do it. All right, the best place I can think of on the homestead to find fat wood easy and not even have to chop for it are all these pine stumps I took out of this garden expansion back before the sap really got to rising good. So there should be quite a bit of resin in the roots of these stumps. And y'all, I can just pick over here and pick it off. And I can smell it. And I can even see the red in these roots. When I split this up, y'all, it will make an excellent fire starter. Not that we have to have it in the house, but it's just neat to be able to come out here and find some fat wood. Something that most folks don't do anymore. Guys, there's a good channel. He hadn't put anything out in about a year, but I found him the other night because I was interested in turpentine, because a lot of people's ancestry in North Carolina, if you're a native, will go, if you're from the eastern part of the state especially, will go back to some folks that were doing turpentine. It was a big cash crop way back when, but I was interested in it, so I found Tar Heel History. I believe that's the name of it. I'll try to think to put a link, but a fella named Brian Avery down in Anger, North Carolina, is still keeping it alive today, that old tradition of collecting turpentine from living trees, the resin, turning it into turpentine, and taking old stumps like this from blowovers, cooking them down and getting the tar and then making the pitch. Really neat to watch. It's got about 16 videos, I believe. I hadn't watched 100% of it, but I've watched a lot, and I'm interested in learning how to do it, because we've got a lot of pines around here, y'all, yellow pines, and I wouldn't mind scratching a few of them up and making me a little steel to make turpentine. Oh yeah. It is way more condensed in the roots of that pine stump that we pulled it off of. You can just see the streaks of red running through here. Extremely strong odor too. That's gonna burn good. It's been up off the ground. That'll be helping to light a fire this evening. You can just see specks of that resin inside of the wood. So y'all, that is in no way an in-depth look at fat wood, or fat lightered, as some people call it. But if you want an in-depth, check out Tar Heel History. I'll put a link to it in the video description. Mr. Avery is extremely versed in turpentine production, tar, pitch. I just find it really interesting, you know, because we are the Tar Heel state, And if you watch some of his videos, you'll learn, if you don't already know, why we're called Tar Heels, y'all. Guys, that's gonna wrap it up for me today. It's about all I got in me. I'm gonna take it easy. May even take a day off of a video, guys, this coming Saturday. And we'll see how the rest of the week goes. Guys, y'all have a good day, a great week. Oh, and if you haven't tried our beard balm, y'all, you're gonna love it. You still got time to get it before Christmas, and it's a pretty good value. Or some homemade candles that Lisa does here out of soy. Guys, y'all have a good day, a great week, and Lord willing, and the creek don't rise too high. Y'all will see you on the next one.